Hi friends, welcome back to the Primal Professor. Or if you're new, hi, I'm Dr. Rose, and I just completed 5 weeks of my carnivore challenge. And I have some exciting updates. This week, my goal was to add back in dairy, and I also tried liver for the first time, and at breakfast no less. Something I've been wanting to do, I've had a small raised bed metal container garden for a lot of years, which I had planned to construct a raised bed garden, and so I turned that into an herb garden, which I've enjoyed some herbs while on carnivore in the form of butter, flavored butter. But we officially got my raised bed garden completed, and I'll show you some pictures before this video is out with that. So that was a huge goal. Also, I'm down another 2 pounds, and let me get it right, and I'm going to refer to my notes because there's a lot of things I want to make sure I don't forget. So I am down 2 more pounds and another 3.75 inches, which is incredible, which brings my total to 10 pounds and 8.75 inches. So let's talk results, routines, and some real life progress. And my other goal is, as part of this carnivore challenge, what helped me extend it is you, the viewers, but also that I want to get down to my marriage weight, which I am 164 right now, which would be 155. So not 10 pounds, 9 more pounds. And I have a pair of jeans that are from 1990 Jordache, and my goal is to get back in them and actually be able to wear them without laying down flat on the bed. So let's get started. Okay, so last week I started incorporating dairy again, but I delayed this video because I didn't start until about 3 weeks into the last week. The weather was so warm and hot. We had, last video I'm wearing a jacket outside, and we went up to 97 degrees and a lot of humidity, and now I'm wearing long sleeves again because we had a 40-degree drop. We're back down into the 60s and rainies. Welcome to Northeast Pennsylvania in the summertime. But right around there, we got up into the 90s, and honestly, my appetite was less. I just wasn't as hungry. And so it took me a couple days to start the dairy, and I'm doing it in the form of cottage cheese and Greek yogurt, which is my favorite, and I really enjoyed it. But here's the kicker. I still lost weight, and that surprised me. So just another 2 pounds gone this week, and the even more surprising was the 2.75 inches. Now that has, just to quantify or qualify that a little bit, I lost some. I do my bust, my high waist, and then my lower stomach is where I tend to carry a little extra skin. And because overall I'm close, it'll be, when I get down to that 155, it'll be 100 pounds. And that is where, that hasn't moved for years, to be honest with you. It took me a long time. I worked very hard to get my waist under 35. That's the recommended, that's like the cutoff point to know whether or not as a woman you have, it's one of the signs you have metabolic syndrome if your weight is greater than, your waist is greater than 35 inches. And so I was very proud when I hit that marker, but I had gotten my waist down to 32. But when I had my lap band removed, I had a lap band 15 years ago, I would recommend watching week 1 through 5 so you can hear a lot of the story. I don't want to repeat. But It took a long time to get down to 32, and I went up I put 5 or 6 pounds on, and I went up 2 inches. So those 2 inches are gone, and then I lost another inch off the high part of my waist, but that lower belly, I lost another, I think it was 2 inches. No, another inch off my waist, high waist, and the lower belly, and also off my bust again, which I'm not upset about. I'll lose more if that's okay with me. So let's see. So that I want to really just emphasize that point to people who are teetering on the decision of starting carnivore or not. My weight has been stable for, I would say, 4.5 years. Now I would go up around the holidays and get that right back down. But really, I've been stable and I was not able, I had reached 160 at one point for a second, but my lowest where I hung out was like 163. And so, but I would say the last 1.5 years when I got the lap band removed, I was closer to 170. So I have taken I've taken those 5 or 6 pounds off, and very easily, I might add. And so that has been a real goal. So if you're stuck, even if you're on keto or ketovore, I urge you to just give it a try. You don't have to commit to anything, but I was going to do 3 days, and here we are 5 weeks. So I'm really glad to see that because that hasn't moved. So clothes are fitting better, and when you have extra skin, and again, I don't have a lot, but it still looks like it still impacts the size clothes you get. Now the waist in my jeans or my pants are very big at the high waist, but I always had to fit that lower stomach, and so therefore you're wearing like longer tops to kind of hide that, and it really has gone down. I'm not to the point where I'll show you in a bathing suit or a picture yet. I hope I get to that point, but I'm not ready for that yet. So let's see what else. I continue to feel really, really good. My sleep is solid, and according to my smartwatch, my HRV and deep sleep have both improved over the last month. That's a huge win for recovery and stress. So I'm very pleased about that. Some of you, after week 4 update, my blood pressure had gone down to 90/68 or something, which is low. And I just got off lisinopril, within the last 6 months. And so it went even lower than that. So the good news is that, thank you for your concern, I did not have any lightheadedness or orthostatic hypotension where you stand and get lightheaded, but I agree that it was too low. If I felt anything, I might have felt a little tired. So I just upped my electrolytes and my salt, and it's, it's 107/74 now. I'm okay with that. Considering that my blood pressure, it was always 120/70, except during my pregnancies. I had preeclampsia, and if I was on house arrest on the first one, I was younger than 28, and then and I had they had to take my son early, 3 months early, because my blood pressure was so high. He wasn't getting enough blood flow. So, and he passed away at 6 months. So that was directly related to high blood pressure and metabolic syndrome. But back then, fat was bad and carbs were good. If any of you remember Susan Powter's Stop the Insanity, eat 10 baked potatoes, just don't have any butter on it. So I was eating like granola cereal during my pregnancies, thinking that I was doing a good thing. As soon as I had that baby, I would go back down to 120/70, but pretty much predicted, and they were right on the money, that at 40 I'd become hypertensive. But during that pregnancy, the second pregnancy with my son Colby, which I'm glad to say he's 30 years old, so we made it through that one. But I went on, instead of just being on house arrest, I was on complete bed rest on my left side for 6 weeks. And if I stood up, my blood pressure would go up to 220 or 120. So baby came out, I was back down to 120 over 70, but then since the age of 40, I was on lisinopril. And initially I was on 10 milligrams and went down over when I had the lap band and lost some weight. I went down a little bit more on keto. Within the last year, was on 1.25 milligrams a day, and they're like, why are you even taking it? But I did feel a difference. And now with Carnivore, right before I started Carnivore, I had stopped the lisinopril, so it still went down that low. So I had to up my salt. So if you experience any signs of dizziness and lightheadedness, which my husband is now, he needs to lower his blood pressure meds. He has a doctor's appointment coming up. So I want to make sure we don't want any accidents there. So thank you for your concern again. Let's see, what else? What meat did I add? Well, I have added, last week I talked about ing some organ meat. And thank you to my viewer, you know who you are, put into the comments about a company that mixes organ meats in with hamburger, and that's what I said I wanted to try to find a butcher. The company is, let me get the information here, called Dirty Dog Farm, and they have 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and they eat just grass from April to December. They don't eat any grain, but in the winter they eat high quality hay over the winter. That's what their website says. And they dry age the beef for 14 days. And I got the Primal Blend, which is 85-15, and I ordered the Primal Blend, which is 10% liver and 5% heart. So listen, I had liver as a kid and I was having flashbacks, and so this morning I did receive it yesterday, so I'm very excited and to try it today. And so I had it for breakfast. I made 2 burger patties, and all that I added was garlic powder, because that's what I usually put in my regular burgers. And I ordered 10 pounds. It was $120, but if you subscribe you get 5% off. And so I put a slice of cheese on like I always do, and I had 2 eggs with it, and I was ready to taste that liver taste, and I did not. I was trying hard. I would say there's something a little different, but it doesn't taste like organ meat. And if I didn't know there was something else in it, I wouldn't have known. It was really delicious. So I had it's 6 o'clock at night now. I had those 2 burgers probably at 8 a.m. this morning with 2 eggs. And I was gonna just eat one and save one for my husband, but I ate both of them. And I haven't eaten anything since. I am not hungry. And that's, again, that power of nutrition is just amazing. So I think part of my success of losing weight, the 2 pounds again, which I was about 1.5 pounds, was yesterday and I'll go into it a little bit more, we erected a raised bed for our garden, and my husband and I were out in like I said yesterday, it was 80-some degrees, hot, humid, and I ate breakfast in the morning, and we came in until we sat down, it was 9 o'clock at night. And honestly, this is another thing I've mentioned in the previous weeks, your cravings are gone. But what I'm noticing now is that I could have went to bed last night and been fine. But I had some Greek yogurt. I was gonna make something to eat. I just was not hungry. But think about it, 2 eggs and some cheese and grass-fed, grass-finished with heart and liver in there. I can see where I could get down to potentially 1 meal a day. Not that I want to though, because I think there's some mixed results being postmenopausal in doing that. But as a tool to get maybe to my goal weight, I might do that. So right now, like I said, it's 6 o'clock and I am just not hungry. And so I'm really just trying to listen to my my hunger cues, because boy, I was hungry this morning. You know, I didn't eat a lot yesterday, and that's why I had the 2 burgers and the 2 eggs. So that's the beauty of carnivore, I'd say, is that you can really rely on the hunger signals. So it arrived. I'll put the link in the show notes in the description. And it arrived, and it was, compared to that other, I had used another company at one time, which was okay in the beginning and then kind of got sloppy. So I discontinued them. But this was dry ice, very cold, frozen. You could tell they didn't thaw along the way. The other company I had used, when I would defrost them, you could tell that part of the wrapping had opened. It wasn't sealed good. And I just wasn't, it seemed at first it was good, and the pieces got smaller and over time. So I discontinued them. But I was very pleased with the Dirty Dog, and the meat is delicious. Honestly, you can't taste the heart or the liver. So I would encourage you to give it a try. Now, it was 10 pounds for $120, and it's not cheap. But they come in 1 pound packs, and you can get 5% off if you subscribe. Also, you're gonna pay for shipping. Now, they're located in the Northeast, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but it was very good. So that's just why, if you wanna try it, this is a good blend, I think, to try it with. So but they're in the Northeast part of the country, and they try to ship to the Northeast. All right, so how do I plan to use the other meat I have? I've made, with keto, I've made meatballs, and I've also made meatloaf. I just substitute breadcrumbs and I put in pork rinds, and it turns out very good. It's delicious. So I might use that. But honestly, the burger patties are just simple, and slice of cheese on it. It's delicious. So don't fear I could tell you don't fear the organ meats right now, but I was a little fearful because I didn't like liver, but they really are a powerhouse of nutrients. And look, I feel, satiated still, and it's 10 hours later. Yeah, 10 hours later, and I'm still not hungry. And just from a primal perspective, I'm going to put my primal health coach hat on. We know, like the animals, the predator animals that kill, the lion, they eat the organs out. And when we were, during our evolution, till we got weapons, like a spear, we couldn't kill the animal ourselves. So we would go in and get the muscle meat after the predators, because they were just interested in the organs. And they are absolutely so nutritious. Not that the muscle meat isn't, but that's how we thrived and our brains grew, and how we continued on through evolution for thousands and thousands of years. So it's very interesting when you read some archaeology and ancestral stuff, and it kind of makes sense. So All right, so my big announcement is, and my thank you to all of you, is that I'm officially a YouTube partner. I met the threshold for monetization. So there, I put a lot of time and a lot of hours and a lot of effort and research and challenged my brain to learn editing and all of these things that it takes and to make a video. And I just want to thank everybody for your support, for subscribing, and my goal was to, again, I'm a goal person. I worked a lot and had head of a program, and I needed something. So that's why a couple years ago, in anticipation of retiring, and it was right during COVID, I knew that I wanted to get my health coaching degree or certificate, and it's a Primal Health Coach certificate. And I knew I just wouldn't retire and do nothing. So, but what I love about YouTube is that I can reach a lot of people and hopefully inspire, which, thank you, I'm glad I've inspired some of you to start trying carnivore, and that makes me happy. And as a physical therapist, I moved from being a full-time physical therapist into academia, and as much as I love both areas, I did. But in my heart, I'm a physical therapist, and when someone who couldn't do something, who couldn't walk, who couldn't sit, whenever I was working with them, their COPD was so bad and they couldn't walk 5 feet, and I got them to the point where they were walking again and going on a treadmill. I had a gentleman who could do 1 minute on a treadmill at the slowest speed. He had COPD so bad his wife wheeled him in, and I worked with him, and by the time we were done, he had his own treadmill at home. He would do 30 minutes twice a day, and he was back on the golf course without his oxygen. Like, that's the stuff that ignites me. And when I hear your stories that everyone's shared, and thank you to everybody who has shared, because it's inspiring me, and I know it's inspiring everybody else. And I have 2 people in my life that have serious medical complications, like advanced fatty liver disease, people with severe autoimmune diseases, and I just wish they would just give things a try. So congratulations to all of you who have tried and are succeeding, and thank you again from the bottom of my heart for supporting this channel. And I had a goal of 6 months to get meet the criteria. We did it in 4, so I appreciate all your support and the community. So that was my big announcement. So all of this keeps me, that feedback, and good or bad, again, good or bad, and kicking me in the butt when I need it, like when I said I was going to do carnivore for 3 days. I love that. You know, you challenged me, and I hope I'm rising to the challenge. We all have to start somewhere, and even if we only think it's for 3 days, right? We all start somewhere, and give somebody the courage to give this a shot. We're making a difference in this world right now. I think we see what's going on nationally and around the world, and I think it's important for the future of our children to get our food back where it needs to be. So continue to please like, subscribe, and share your comments in this community. It's getting very strong. I'm very proud of it. I'm very blessed. I'll do some more follow-up for those of you on keto with the garden and some things to do. We'll do some fermented vegetables, I promise that. I'll see you in the next video.